Hey guys, what's up? My name is Courtney Bishop and I will be one of the trainers at the Strength Workshop. So like we did last week, a little short video in regards to what you can expect at our upcoming workshop. I will be touching on cultivating your right mindset in regards to training. So I think there are three factors that really influence the mindset that you bring to each training session. The three things that really affect it would be the environment, the attitude, and the personality that you have. So to start with environment, there are a couple of things. There's the external versus the internal influences. So external motivation can influence your training because if you have a lot of people that you're surrounded by and that's what gets you really psyched up to train, that can be a positive influence on your training. A negative environmental influence would be if there's maybe someone in the gym that is just being obnoxious, slamming weights, and it's really distracting to you. That can also affect how you approach your training. So really being able to use your environment to your benefit. And that's why I say creating the environment, because you can make sure that you're in a community where you have that external motivation from your buddies when you lift, if that's what motivates you. Also, if you have the external negative influence of someone distracting you, you need to be able to shut that off, focus on the task at hand that you need to perform, and not let that affect the mindset that you're approaching your skill for. Internal motivation is a little bit different. Sometimes people on this end are actually intrinsically motivated and they don't need all that hype and external cues from other people to get them pumped up. They find that within themselves, and that's where they really derive their energy. Also, from the internal perspective, you can have distractions within yourself. Maybe you have some stressors in your life that you can't stop thinking about, and that can distract your mindset. So knowing how to really close your thoughts and just focus on that task at hand again. So whether you are external or internally motivated, find out how to find that inner focus. The next thing I want to touch on is your personality. And that kind of goes back to whether you're externally motivated or internally motivated. That can kind of go in line with if you're an extrovert or an introvert, at least from what I've observed. And that derives from your personality, actually. So, like I said, which degree are you motivated by? And then also, your personality is made up if you are a thinker or a feeler. So to go down the path of the thinkers, a lot of the times these individuals tend to overthink. That can be either before their lift, during their lift, or after their lift, and that can all have an effect on your performance. If you're overthinking before, you have too much stimulus going on, and that's going to distract you from performing optimally at your skill. If you overthink during the skill, that can also affect the motor pathways of how you are performing. Also, after the lift, if you are overanalyzing, maybe you take a video of yourself lifting and then you're overanalyzing from a third person perspective of what you just did, and then when you go back to perform that movement, you're thinking too much about your performance. So that's kind of the overthinking of the thinkers. But also the thinkers can have a positive spin on them. So you can use your thoughts to foster the right mindset going into your training. Maybe you think from a positive mindset that you are going to crush this lift. You have the power to overcome this challenge that you are about to put yourself in. That can be how you use it to your advantage. So now touching on the feelers, someone who maybe aligns more with that personality. If you are, what's a good example? If you maybe have a negative experience that you went through that day and you bring that into your training, that's going to lead you down a path of just having an overall bad lift. Maybe you are feeling a negative energy, but coming into that lift, you actually are able to realize you're having a negative thought, turn that into a positive emotion, whether that's adrenaline or just hype, and if that's what produces a better result for you, then you can use that to your advantage as well. The last thing I guess I'll touch on is your attitude. Your attitude, I think, is critical for how you are going to perform. So the attitude that you approach each training session with. If you go into a lift and you're thinking like, I hope I get this lift, or I really hope I don't miss this weight, that doesn't ring very confident to me. I think you need to go into it like, hell yeah, I'm going to crush this weight. Hell yeah, I'm strong enough. And that is the self-efficacy you need to perform optimally in your skill. You can see this, I've observed it in myself through being an athlete all growing up. I've observed it in strength athletes in the gym as well. If I can sense that they are not confident in approaching the task that they are about to do, that will show in their performance. Maybe they miss a lift, and after they fall or whatever, they look around and they get kind of like embarrassed that other people saw that, and you can just tell that these people are performing out of trying to impress other people. I think that this will come over time and maturity with training, is that you need to be in this for yourself, and you need to produce the attitude of positive and confident thoughts that you want to get this lift because you want to perform and overcome that challenge to build up yourself. Not doing it out of egotistical reasons that you want to perform this to impress other people in the gym, or having like any external factors affecting your lift. For instance, like if you have a coach and you're worried about performing a lift because you want to make sure that you do it to satisfy their expectation, that's not the right mindset to approach it. I guess I'll just point out a personal example here, is that in softball I used to, if I got put into a game and to hit, and I needed to get a hit for the team, I put this pressure on myself going up to bat that I have to get this hit, I have to perform because I want to prove that I'm worth it, and I want to make sure that I don't look bad, and there's all this pressure on me to do well. And you know what? All those thoughts in my head were distracting me from the actual task at hand. And instead of going into it of, I know what I need to do in this situation, I need to get a hit because I can, because I'm capable of that. Rather than focusing on these positive thoughts, I was so caught up in these other external factors that were distracting me from what I was really capable of doing. And so I want to emphasize this point because I think that can be make or break in your training session, and even in just life in general. If you go into it so worried about doing something for someone else, are you really performing at your best ability and improving upon yourself? So those are the 3 factors that I see really affecting people's mindsets when they train. Like I said, I've learned this from myself over time. Also, I've just seen other people, how they perform in the gym, and I can kind of tell where they are in their training and the maturity wise, and also it just takes time to go through and learn these things. It's not going to be, ideal when you start. You just have to practice it, and really there's no optimal mindset. It's all individual. Everyone has different personalities. Everyone's going to go through different experiences in life and have different things throughout their days that are going to affect their attitudes when they train. But really, that's why I say you are in charge of your environment that you cultivate when you train. Your attitude will affect it, your personality will affect it, but you are the one in control. So when it comes down to it, I hope these tips were helpful, and whether you've started a training program or you plan to start and you want to come out to our workshop to learn more, I hope you can join us for the day and apply these principles to your own training, and I hope that you see success. Thanks.